Welcome, Teresa. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so honored.
Is today a big day?
For me,
Yes.
I don't know specifically, but I feel aligned today. I feel like shifts have been happening for me. Miracles have been coming up for me and coming into my life and
I
in
didn't
ways
mean,
that I didn't expect.
yeah,
I feel vibrant.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. It's just we've talked before and there's something about you. You have this tremendous glow around you and this tremendous heart light. And I thought you must be having a particularly lit up day.
It does feel amazing. Yeah, it's the past 2 weeks have just really shifted me. I feel into this energy today and yeah, I do feel vibrant. My boys are at school. I've been able to come home and reconnect and just really reflect on my vision and my work and my life and my family. And it's just, I feel free today. I feel a
Oh,
lot of freedom.
well, I feel that vibration coming from you, so I'm so glad we get to be in that energy together. Will you tell us a little bit about who you are and the work that you do in the world?
Well, my name is Teresa Mazzella, and I live in a small town in Ontario, Canada. And the work I do, it's actually hard to describe because I feel it on such an energetic level.
Yes.
But to describe it as best as I can is I use my intuition and my entrepreneurial skills and sense to bring together and in alignment to bring coaches or the spiritual entrepreneur who is multi-passionate or who has a vision and just doesn't know how to bring it together. I help them bring out their gifts and so they can really start embracing their gifts because I feel strongly that the vision becomes clearer when you can truly see that essence, that gift that you've used all your life that's so natural to you. And when you can bring that out, then you can start bringing it into a career or a business and start really aligning your job or your career with your passions. And not only that, but for me, it's all about nourishing your energy as well and self-care and letting your business or letting your career support the lifestyle that you want to create as well.
So
That
important.
makes sense.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, how is it that you came to be doing the work that you're doing?
I've always been in the service industry. So I've always loved helping others. It's always been my passion. As a child, I've always volunteered. I always did fundraisers. I always did that type of thing. In college, I went to schooling to help and teach children with disabilities. So I've just loved helping people. It was my passion. I worked in the school board. I worked in the school system for many years. And then I started using or getting really involved in the holistic healing arts like reflexology, aromatherapy. And my entrepreneurial side started coming out. My parents have always had businesses, so that side started coming out in me. So I ended up going to school to become an aromatherapist and reflexologist. And I opened up a home based business doing treatments. And then I moved my business into a shop and I had clients, and it was fantastic. I was doing what I wanted to do, and that vision came alive. And so it was great. And I got married, had a family. I had my first son, and I found myself wanting to spend more time with him. And then shortly after, I got pregnant with my second son. So I made the decision to move my business into my home and then help out my parents with their business. I felt like it was more of a balance for me at this time in my life. But at that time, I also started moving away from the stuff that was so important to me, like the self care, like the meditation, like the connection. Even eating healthy was slowly moving away from me. And before I knew it, It was out of balance. And after I had my second son, I started getting the, can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm. It slowed a little, but it's okay.
Okay. After I had my second son, I started getting these messages like, you need to get back into doing this. Even just go see a naturopath, get out for a walk. But it felt like I was just more out of shape and I just needed to reconnect. So I started reading self-care books, but I wasn't implementing.
Mm-hmm.
When you read, but you don't really take the action.
Mm-hmm.
Or I feel like I'm cutting out.
You're fine on this end.
Okay. And so eventually my health started to decline. And it just kept, I could feel, because I was sensitive, even though I was disconnected, I'm still a highly sensitive person, or I was disconnected at the time from the things that were important to me or valued in my life. I could feel my energy draining. Like I could feel my vibration, and it was not aligned with my vision. And eventually I was diagnosed with Lyme disease, and I didn't know how to get out of it. It was a very trying time for me. I wasn't able to take care of my kids. It was, the process, know what it's like.
Yeah.
It's like you're trapped in your body. It's like you're stuck.
Yeah.
I keep coming at, am I good?
Yeah.
Because the internet connection keeps coming.
Yeah.
It's like, and you don't know what to do.
Right.
And it was just a hard experience. But then as the time went on, I think I started in treatment. And once I started treatment, I went even lower. My vibration was just really, really, I felt it almost leaving my body. And it was my lowest point. It was actually Good Friday.
Okay.
And I didn't know what to do, and I made a decision that day. I'm like, I need to shift this. So I started frantically reaching out to people that healed themselves from chronic illness or from something, where they were so low, but then they got themselves back into alignment. So I started reaching out, and then miracles started showing up. That day, my friend called me, and I wasn't taking any calls, and I took her call. She lined me up with a theta healer and an ancient numerology healer. They worked together. The session, I remember it was so expensive at the time for me. It was like $400 or $500. I wasn't working. I didn't know how I was going to do this. But he booked me in the next day, and I trusted. The next morning, the session was gifted to me.
Oh, wow.
And I went, and I'm not going to say I left and I felt fantastic, but it opened up my energy enough to start attracting the miracles that I needed to have happen, and start attracting a healing team that was aligned with me, and started giving me the insight to really trust my intuition, even because I did do some Western medicine, and I did a combination of natural and energetic healing and mindset. I did it all. I did what was aligned with me and what I felt was right.
Yep.
And it gave me the strength to say, nope, this isn't working for me. And this isn't working, but this is. So let's do this. And it was just miracles. It was just started happening. And then that was around March or April. And by September, I started wanting to find some inspiration. So I started an inspiration book. And because I felt like if I could shift my focus on something other than the Lyme, because when you're in it, it's so hard not to focus on. It's hard not to focus on the fear or on the symptoms that are happening. So I figured if I shifted to finding inspiration, then maybe a byproduct would be healing. Or maybe my body would just feel better and just start nourishing my soul. So showed up for myself. I started doing some self-care practice, which started with an Ayurveda practice of stewed apples. That was it. I showed up. I got up every morning. I cut myself the apples. I stewed them. I added the clove. And that was the first step. Then it was the smoothies. Then it was the energy. It just one by one started coming. Once I started tapping into the inspiration, I started getting clearer. And it wasn't a business. I didn't want to go into a business. I just wanted to find inspiration. And I wrote down everything that inspired me. So if I went to a yoga class, it was a yoga teacher that inspired me. I write it down. Even aqua fitness. Maybe it's an aqua fitness instructor that would feed my soul. So I wrote it down. And I think at the time I was just connecting with their inspiration because they were doing what they loved. And then it came to me that I always loved angels. My business was Angel Center Aromatherapy. So I said, why don't I reconnect with my angels and really start moving it down that path? It was New Year's Eve. I said, I want to go explore the angel, the angel readings and get a little more educated in that. A day later, Doreen Virtue wrote her son Charles was coming to Toronto, which is 4 hours away, and he was coming in February. So it started there. I did it, and it wasn't as a business. It was just to feed my soul because that's what my work was, just to do that. And it just evolved. I started putting out angel readings. I started doing them. And entrepreneurs started coming to my angel readings. And then it started to turn into angel readings and then shifting into more of a little bit of coaching and bringing their gifts together. So it naturally evolved into what I'm doing now. And the Lyme, even though it's one of the worst parts of my life and it's not a nice situation to be in, it gave me a lot of gifts too, and it gave me a lot of insight, and it gave me a lot of strength. My body I'm doing quite well. My body might not be as strong, or my immune system might not be as strong as it was when I was 10 years ago or 5 years ago. And who knows, maybe it is, but my inner strength is super strong. And my mindset is strong. My self-care is strong. A lot of the stuff that I wanted to bring into my life that was important to me is strong again.
Oh, it's so true. That resiliency really shows through, and your light shows through. Tell us a little bit about what angel readings are for people who might be new to. I think we all have a sense from childhood. Maybe we got disconnected at some point from the sense that we have angels. They somehow get externalized, like that's, something you see in a painting or something you talk about, that kind of fairyland. But angel presence and angel light is a very real part of the human existence, even if you're not aware or perceiving it. Tell us a little bit about what that world is like and how you introduce people to it.
For me, the angel energy is so light and it's so vibrant, but it's so gentle. It's so powerful, but it's so gentle. Yeah. And it's my way of really connecting with the universe, or with, with that celestial energy. It's so hard to explain because it does come so naturally. But we are surrounded by energy. We're surrounded by light. And there's divine guidance waiting for us to access.
Absolutely.
And I access it through the angelic energy. So what happens is I receive messages, whether it's, I receive more like visions in my mind's eye. I really feel a lot of like more of a clairsentient kind of way, where I'm actually feeling the energy of the person. And the angels assist me in this. They use me as an outlet to give and provide messages to help somebody or to help a client move forward and really embrace their own gifts.
Beautiful.
And Yeah, so it's a beautiful energy, and children have an affinity to angels
Right.
naturally.
Right.
And so it's so important to really start bringing that out, whether it's, saying, hey, look, an angel's with us when they see a beautiful feather. Or look at that cloud. Let's just sit and watch the clouds and feel the inspiration from the clouds. So nurturing that, I feel, is very important. So it can be more of a natural thing to us as we grow and go through that time period of, that questioning.
That questioning. Is an angel reading the kind of thing we could do right now? I was thinking about the Mystic Society as kind of a collective. For someone who hasn't experienced an angel reading, could we give them a little taste of what that looks like?
We can.
Is that doable?
We can do that. You know what? I have something right here. Hold on 1 second. Let me just grab my book. Sorry.
Yeah.
I had just had it out, and it's funny because yesterday I said I need to put that away, and I didn't. So, yes, we can do that. Do you have any specific questions, or would you just like me to channel messages for...
Let's just think of the Mystic Society as a collective, and those who may be finding their way to this interview and maybe seeking some global guidance as part of a collective group who are all doing exactly what your work is about, which is aligning to their soul purpose and path and letting that guide them forward to right livelihood, to sharing their gifts with the world. I think that community is very much the type of energy that you serve. So it might be fun to offer a global message.
As I'm allowing myself to tap into the mystics, I'm actually getting quite emotional.
Okay.
I don't know if you feel that.
Yes.
I feel the power is so strong that I almost the outlet was almost tears.
Yeah, okay.
Because what it represents is that shift.
Yeah.
And it's a group of people, and I don't even know if they realize. So if you're listening to this, I don't know if you realize how powerful you are and how powerful your gift is and how important it is to bring this into the world. Because the energy of the mystics is so strong right now. I mean, I think it's just a strong collective energy. And it's that energy that's going to help shift the world. It's that energy that is going to say, it's okay to take care of myself. It's okay to nourish my body. It's okay to put myself first. It's that energy and living by that example that's going to shift the world. We can tell people what to do, and we do that in our work. But it's more of our energy. And I feel like the mystics have that energy without even words. So as they move forward in their businesses or their practices or whatever it looks like, or whether it's just hanging out with your family or whether it's going to a grocery store, it's really important for the mystics to really embrace that energy and know its worth and know its importance and to own it, because that's what's going to shift. When you go into a grocery store and your energy is super vibrant because you've nourished your body and your soul that day, and you are embracing your gifts, you're going to shift that entire grocery store. So it's not always about a business. It's not always about a client, just a client in front of you. Yeah. It's a global shift. And I feel like the mystics have that energy to do it. The angel that comes through, there's in the integrated energy healing, it's a process that was channeled by Stephen Thayer. There are 9 angels of the energy field. Okay. And in the mystics, I feel like Archangel Sarah is the most present, and her gift is empowerment. Beautiful. And her gift is she helps us clear powerlessness, whether it's caused by us, our thoughts, our beliefs, our limiting beliefs, or caused by others. So as a message, I'm going to say, step into your power and release any doubt that you have. Beautiful.
Oh, what a beautiful permission. I hope everyone could just really take a minute to breathe in that energy that you just brought forward. And it's so fun to also be in the passion of your divine gifts and to receive those permissions and those reminders that aligning to your truth and being in the energy of being a modern mystic is so needed at this time. I so echo that call, and I feel it as well. If there were something that an individual could do, anyone, to begin to bring that alignment in, to bring in the connection to their angel guides, what's one thing anybody could do that you would recommend for them to start out on this path or to bring in more of this goodness?
I would say it has to be the one thing that can show the universe and the angels and bring you in the higher vibrations and bring you into alignment and start manifesting what you want and what you desire is simply a self-care practice. Yeah. But a soulful self-care practice, a self-care practice not going through the motions, right. A self-care practice that brings you in connected, so into that connected space. It's showing up for yourself, whether it's 5 minutes a day, because mine started at 5 minutes a day, just making those stewed apples, but I did it. And I know that was an action of just stewed apples, but I have to tell you that when I was doing this, and I would be in alignment, I would play mantra music to my stewed apples to raise the vibration. I would eat each apple and visualize the nourishment that it was bringing my body. So it was like a connectedness. It wasn't, just getting up and making a green smoothie and drinking it because somebody told you that was what you had to do. Right. It's finding your way to connect and feel it. And I think once you start showing up for yourself, miracles always happen, but I feel like you start recognizing the miracles that are in your life. Yep. So I would have to say it's starting to just showing up for yourself and beginning a practice that feels good and brings you peace, even if it's little, as long as it's connected.
Oh, it's so huge, and I'm so grateful that you presence the difference between kind of going, and there are times when we go through the motions, and that's the best we can do, and that's part of ritual and practice. Yes. But really, what you're talking about is that primary intention of taking the time to infuse that moment, whether it's just a moment or it's 5 minutes, as you said, with real meaning and real connection. And I so agree. That is what makes the difference between kind of a cardboard cutout living life and one which is exactly as you describe, with the ability to not only see the miracles but receive and claim them on a new level. Teresa, thank you so much. Where can people find you online?
I am on Facebook. I have Create a Soulful Life, because creating a soulful life is what I want for everybody. So Create a Soulful Life Facebook group. I also have, my website is under construction, but I have a landing page up there now with a little bit of information. So it's www.createasoulfullife.com.
Beautiful. Well, I want to encourage everybody to go find you and to follow your work and to follow your recommendation as well to bring a soulful self-care practice in, even if it's just a little one to start. It'll snowball until you find your entire life is a soulful self-care practice.
Absolutely. Yes. It's so true.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this special day, and thank you for bringing your big energy and your big light. It's just been such a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate it.
Bye. Bye.